Hello everyone, welcome to the second lecture. In this lecture, I'll teach you the basic syntax of Python and show their equivalent to Scratch programs. So here this very basic Scratch program, when green flag is clicked, say hello world, can be written in Python 3 with simple one line print parenthesis quotes hello world. Now in the last lecture we discussed about these four things: functions, conditions, boolean expressions and loops. Before learning about Python, we need to learn some simple Unix shell commands. These might not be as useful to those who are practicing Python on Windows, but definitely those who are practicing Python on Linux or Mac, these will be very useful. So the first command, cd. cd stands for change directory. It is equivalent to clicking on a folder icon and going to that folder. So let's say you have a folder called test. So when you write cd space test and you press enter in your terminal, your terminal will now be located on the test directory. Second command, ls. It stands for list. It shows you all the files which you have in your current directory. The third command, mkdir, stands for make directory, and it is used to create a directory or folder. So if you don't have a directory right now and you want to create a directory, you can say mkdir space and the name of the folder you want to create. So if I wanted to make a folder called temp, I would write mkdir space temp. Our fourth command, rm, is used to delete a file. So if you have a file, let's say called test.txt, when you write rm space text.txt, you will delete that file. And the last command for now, rmdir, is used to delete a folder. So rmdir space the name of the folder and you press enter, it will delete that folder. Now we saw this picture in our last lecture. So this is the skeleton of any computer program. You supply it some input and in a black box some algorithms do their magic and you get an output. So inside your computer, your code, your source code, when you write it, you feed it to a compiler which translates your code into machine code which your computer can read. In Python there is not a compiler but an interpreter. So yeah. Now let's say you have a simple hello world program with just one line print hello world and you have called it hello.py. In your terminal, if you write python space hello.py, it will run this program. So be careful, you will have to be in the same directory as your program is located in order for it to run. And then there are some special characters in Python 3 you need to be aware of. There are only two. So \n is used to refer to a new line and \t is used to refer to a tab, which means 4 space characters. So these might be useful when you are asking the user for some input or you want to print out your output in a special way. Now, as we saw in our last lecture, we had this block, ask what's your name and wait, and then we said join, hello and answer. How will you do this in Python? Well, the answer is very simple. In the first block's equivalent is answer equal to input parenthesis quotes what's your name \n. So please remember this \n. This is very useful for printing your output in a special way. And this input is a function which, as its name suggests, asks the user for some input, and the string you pass into it is what the user sees as the prompt. And then we store the input as the answer. So when we write hello plus answer, it will write hello and whatever the user supplied. Next, if you played around in Scratch, you might have encountered this block set counter to 0. So what you can use this is that you can use it to initialize a variable. In Python, you just simply initialize a variable by writing the name of the variable equal to and whatever the value you want to initialize it to. So counter equal to 0 is the same as set counter to 0. Change counter by 1 can be written as counter plus equals 1 in Python. However, please note that this syntax is only used when the right hand side has the number 1. If you want to change your variable by some other amount, you will need to write counter equal to counter plus whatever number. And counter plus equal to, you can also write counter minus equal to, counter divide equal to, counter multiply equal to. Now coming to these, now we have come to the conditions part. So if x is less than y, then say x is less than y. So its equivalent in Python is if x is less than y, colon, then 4 spaces or a tab, print x is less than y. You need to be very aware of this colon. If you don't use it, and if you don't put the indentation here, your program won't run. The next is if else. So the if part is the same as before, but only after that you can write else and colon and whatever you want to write over here. So if and else, like normal English, is if some condition evaluates to do the set of statements, else do the other set of statements. Now this might look a little scary to you on the left, but in Python it is very easy. So here, if you can see, we are checking for 3 conditions: x less than y, x greater than y, or x equal to y. And one of these conditions has to be true. Say there are 2 proper defined numbers. So here you write if x is less than y, then you print x is less than y, elif. Now elif is a special word. It's used when you have multiple conditions you want to check for. So here, since we are checking for 3 conditions, we have to use elif. So elif is else if. Elif x is greater than y, print x is greater than y. Elif x equal to y, print x is equal to y. When you are comparing 2 things, you have to use 2 equal to signs. X equal to y. When you are assigning something, you just have to use 1 equal to sign. And now this is an infinite loop. So on your left you have a forever block in which is say hello world. Its Python equivalent is while true, print hello world. While true while space condition, but since the condition is always true, it will always keep printing hello world, hello world. And our last condition is repeat 50 times say hello world. So how will you do this? Is you declare a variable called I. You can call it anything you want, but I is generally used while dealing with loops. While I is equal to 0, while I is less than 50, you print hello world and then you increment I by 1. So now if you see the execution, so initially I is equal to 0 and 0 is obviously less than 50, so print hello world runs, and now I is incremented by 1. 0 plus 1 is 1, I is now equal to 1. 1 is also less than 50, prints hello world, I again gets incremented by 1. So this goes on until I is equal to 49. I 49 is less than 50, prints hello world, and then it increments by 1. And now I is equal to 50, and 50 is not less than 50. So it will exit out of this loop. You can also do the same in a slightly different way using a for loop. For loop, although can be used here, but it is generally used to iterate over an array or a list or a set of objects. So here you can write for I in range 0 to 50, print hello world. This is self-explanatory, but range function, it gives you a list of numbers starting from the first argument till the second argument, and the second argument is not included in that list. So this list will give us 0 until 49. You can also add a third argument here, which is the amount each number in your list is incremented by. And lastly, these are the variable types in Python. First is bool, boolean, true or false. Second is char, a character, which is generally used to refer to a single alphabet, but it can also refer to a single digit. But keep in mind that only one thing is allowed in this variable type. You can't write multiple things. Third is a double. So a double is not a native Python data type. It can be imported from the NumPy library, but it is not a part of native Python. Float, on the other hand, is part of native Python. So float and double are almost identical. They are used to refer to decimal numbers. Our fifth is int or integer, which is obviously used to refer to integers. Long refers to big numbers. Now they might be integers or decimals. And lastly, we have string, which you can think of like a word or a sentence or a phrase, a character more than one. Okay, and these are some basic mathematical operations supported by Python: plus, add, minus, subtract, multiply, divide, and this modulus sign refers to remainder operation. So now let's say you write 20 modulus 3. So what will be the remainder? It will be 2, right? Because 20 is, when you divide 20 by 3, you get 18. Sorry, you get 6.66666. But when you want to use a proper integer, you get the quotient as 6, but the remainder as 2. Okay, and that's all I had for you today. Thank you.